Hello everyone, James here from Northeast, and today I'm talking about equities, or also shares as they're commonly referred to. A common question we get is, what are equities? And the answer is that an equity is simply a percentage of ownership that you have in a listed company. A listed company is a company that's publicly available for people to buy. So, for example, Commonwealth Banks and Westpacs and Rio Tintos. These are really large companies whereby any member of the public can choose to buy some of that company and obviously see the benefits of that share price growth. So make no mistake, if you're buying into equities, then what's actually happening is you're buying into companies that are on the share market, or whichever market you're choosing, and when they perform well, when the value of those companies does well, your shares commensurately will go up in value and vice versa if they perform poorly. Now, when it comes to equities, there's two types of return that are typically available. The first one is obviously capital growth. We buy into a company, we have 1% of a company that's worth $1 million and make some good plays, things go well, and it's worth $2 million. If I still own 1%, then my value has doubled the value of those shares. And the second is what we call dividends or distributions. And that's where you might have a company that's worth $1 million, for example, and they make a good profit. But instead of reinvesting that profit in order to grow more, they actually decide to pay that profit out to their shareholders. And if you are a shareholder with 1% holding of that particular company, then you're going to get 1% of that profit paid to you. Now, equities can be a terrific investment, but very importantly, they are a very risky investment. More often than not, you'll hear people explain that if you're going to be invested in shares, you really should have at least a 5 and realistically a 7-year time frame. And the purpose of that is it's designed to be able to ride out the volatility that's invariably going to happen when you're invested in these sort of positions. Depending on the equities that you pick, it's not unusual for a particular company to fall in value by 10 or 20 or 30%. And that can have a really meaningful impact, especially if you are poorly diversified. And that leads me to my last major point when it comes to equities, which is that diversification is king. One of the byproducts of being diversified, a very positive consequence, is that if one company performs well that you hold, it's not going to decimate your entire portfolio because you hold a number of them. One of the negative consequences of that is that if one company performs screamingly well, then you weren't as exposed to that particular company as if you compared to a diversified position. But please trust me when I say that trade-off is worth it, because you absolutely want to hold a well-diversified position of a number of different equities, and ideally not the same types of equities either. For example, if you said I've got CBA and Westpac and ANZ and NAB, for example, that's not a well-diversified portfolio, because what goes wrong with CBA is very likely to impact a lot of the other banks. So again, this can be an area definitely for some advice. Thank you, everyone. Chat soon.